good old force buy going. But now, full utility on every single player, multiple defuse kits, AK stolen, AWP in play for GXX, of course. And Bad News Eagles, 1 round away from having the lead up 15-13, up to X-Real to find the success initially with the Galil. But of course, that nade from Regan will be enough to finish X-Real off, to be able to still have that mid control. And now it's the B side of the map to be tested. Perfect pop flash. And Maka still is able to take down Scenery in spite of it. And the Tech-9 isn't able to find the connection, but it lets Lucky get the trade. This B bomb site is open for some T business, or at least so they thought. But now they immediately rotate through. GXX is aware of the rotation, that they're desperately running towards A, and he's ready to take that fight to them as they run their way through. Wide swinging, only finds the one. Quick trade from Exercise, but that bomb, of course, has been dropped.
That's true, Egon. He has to do it all 1v2, and he sees the first player taking each other a little bit. Exercise a little elevated here, a little off angle there, as of course they know where the player is. Time is in their favor. He's gonna find the first one, Regan. He's only one. He knows where the player is. It has to be one quick headshot from both of them, and it seems that Exercise is able to make this happen. 25 kills for him. On the other side, Lucky on 29. That was definitely huge. And let's take a look at Real at the opening, and then the nade kill to finish him off. So definitely HEET playing way better than we anticipated on this first map, as it is 14-14. On the other side, of course, we have on Bad News Eagles side, we have Rickard on 24, while GXX on 21. So definitely not too shabby. It's not really anybody that is, you know, not really fragging. I mean, you have Senna on 10 on the P&E side. On the other side, we have Jocko on 15. I mean, Jocko had a very, very slow start, but it seems now on the T side, he has come to life and given himself, you know, up to 15. So definitely not too shabby. And 14-14 it is. Both teams need 2 in order to win, and a single one for overtime. Maybe gonna have overtime. What do you think? Who's gonna make this one?
Oh man, this could just go the distance. I mean, HEET are fighting essentially for survival here. Because sure, Inferno is their map pick, but that feels like a map that B&E should be able to handily take down. And of course, they have massive favor on Vertigo. So you feel like they have to get the 2-0 if they find a way to get success in this series. So they need to find a way to squeak through and prove that they can have success in Ancient. They've had a terrible win rate. They've had a hell of a time finding any success. The double mollies will be perfect in slowing down the presence, forcing more utility to be spent. Of course, X-Ray will be able to find a quick trade onto Regon, but the utility usage means Juan is able to find an initial opening, and Scenery wide swings from B main to catch these T's out. It's destined to be 15 for B&E unless a massive blunder comes in, but Synopsy with this off angle should be able to hold off the AWP. He sees the shoulder, he's aware of it, perfectly baits the shot, and confirms the offer is here. And though it gets cleared out of the position, smoke towards red will deny any openings, and considering GXX is steering towards A, they shouldn't have any chances to get into this round at this point, even with a minute left. Should be at least guaranteed overtime for B&E.
That it seems as of. The thing is, HEET, well, the money is also not looking good, so B&E, if they win this one, they of course have a very good shot at closing this one out. But of course, first they have to eliminate the last 2 remaining players. And it seems they were going to the B side. We have 2 defenders here. And the first attack is now coming. Maka looking from behind. Fatro is able to take down the bomb. Oh, that's not good. As, of course, it's only 30 seconds. Maka, to be honest, there's nothing really you can do. The only good thing you can do is save your wonderful AWP for the next round. As B&E looking on point to close this one out, as HEET will not have the perfect buy. Of course, they will get a decent amount of loss bonus, but will it be enough to take this one out? And Maka, will he be able to survive? He's gonna find the first one. There's one more coming. The AWP missing the shot. GXX, he's looking for it. 7 seconds, and there we go. John Fatro from behind, finding the kill, and will be 14-15. And HEET's money is in shambles.
Oh man, the fact that they are unable to preserve anything for the most part means that they're left in, of course, this rough situation. They're able to get the 1 AK on Yoko. That's been a hero a little bit on some of these lurks, but of course it is Lucky about to drop the 30 frags. that's been able to find the impact time and time again, left with just a Tech 9. And they have to hope B&E makes some massive mistakes here, but instead it's a quick HE finding early damage onto Yoko. Of course, he finds a dink through the stones to trade, but no opportunities found just yet until GXX misses that shot. That should be now. The Pistols hunting down this AWP. It's a good first shot and then follow up with the no-scope, but now an AWP has been stolen over. It's 3v4, and Regan's taking a bold move to push towards A-Long to confirm that there's no one else here, that they're stacked up with little information. Get the map control away so you can abuse that man advantage you have to safely close this out 16-14.
That is definitely the plan. There's still enough time on the clock, but lucky he is sneaking onto the side with an AWP in hand, hoping to opening up that side as, of course, we have two defenders. We're going very close here. Let's see if he can do something as the T's are making, their preparations to go into this one, but it seems they don't want to go just yet. Of course, more CTs have been going over, and with that, it's looking that we may be going to have something close here.
Everyone's stacked here on A, ready to go. So the active rotations is a great play to make to try to catch these players exposed in rotation. And it's a perfect first shot. Yoko with the follow-up to make a second and even the third. But Regan holds down the spray. They line up for him. He gets the double. The trade fails. There's been too much HP damage dealt with. And B&E barely take it away 16-14 on map number 1 to keep the dreams alive and HEET shut out of their map. Ancient once again looking a lot better on it, though, I have to say.
Yeah, we were not expecting that to be so close. We kind of thought that B&E just would run away with that, but in the end it was HEET able to claw back so well on that T side, but in the end it was just not enough. Take a look at all these replays. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that second map, as he definitely looking on fire. At least better than we expected.
And with that going better as we expected, that's something for them to look forward to, as they do have their map pick next of Inferno, and maybe some surprises in store. If they're able to get the win there and bring us to 3, maybe they can prove themselves as having a better fighting chance than perhaps credit was being given for. Being able to finally recover. I've seen them struggle multiple times on the side of Ancient and have a poor performance, so it's good to see them finally able to cobble something together to find some success. But of course, when you're going up against opposition like B&E, every single round's going to matter, and all it takes is that one round to make all the difference. B&E able to steal some away, and we can go to the stats and look about how these players performed, because it was an amazing performance from all these players the whole way through.
That's true. Look at that. We're going with 27 on the B&E side. HEET, we have lucky even going up to 30. It's definitely a very good showing. All we have, of course, XSI with 25 and GXX also with 23. John Roger also, so we don't really have anybody that's not performing on the HEET side. We can see on B&E we have Center with only 11 kills, but still pretty decent. And here we see the round, how it's distributed. We can see he taking so many in a row there on the T side. What's that? 5 in a row. That's definitely very good, and definitely looking maybe good for the future of Ancient, and it seems they have been, getting some of their weaknesses out of their play, and with that, yeah, close, but in the end, not so far, and we can see the odds have been shifted 1.12 to 5.8 in favor of B&E.
And they have to be very happy with that. I'm taking a look, and you can see those odds, they're swinging even further towards the good old favor, of course, of B&E, and who can blame them? They look so great on Inferno, and after all, they looked so great on Ancient due to our good old MVP of map number 1 that we have to consider in mind.
Which will be...
Perhaps maybe biting the bullet a little bit too early, but
yeah,
we'll be able to cover that in just a second. But I mean a bit of a quiet game, surprisingly, from Scenario, but maybe that's the difference maker of why HEET were able to look so competitive here but it was a bit of a struggle. And it's worth keeping in mind too that with how this map veto works and everything, sort of you have a situation where he can potentially be exploited, but as we saw, they looked competitive on Ancient, which was a map they should have taken away. Ideally, they win their map pick. It looks competitive as 3, as B&E can't exploit them in the veto, as the permaban for Heat, of course, is Mirage, but we have that good old MVP for you.
It will be Rigon with wonderful, I think, 23 kills, which is on paper with this average, but it's actually so high. Look at that. On average, he's getting 23 kills on Ancient, which is incredible. And with that, I think it's definitely something which is deserved, as he has been very much performing. And for example, something which I remember was, of course, on the T side, you know, getting these kills in middle of challenging the AWPers while going very close to the stairs and finding kills like so many times. So definitely expected.
And with that, I believe that is all we have to cover for you. We're going to have a short little break before we cut into map number 2 between B&E and Heat. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys shortly.
I think I'm playing chess, I see a king, I'm at his neck. I'm 3 steps ahead of every move, now that's a check. Yes, they wanna know my secret, it's because I never slept. All my nightmares of me, 40 life's a wreck. See my dad, he in debt, and my mom, she upset. That's way back when 408 on Seminole was the address. I saw things I shouldn't have, though I love the family to death. Way back then it was a mess, we was living check to check. Now my shirts are getting pressed, your girl see me, she impressed. And my friends are quite obsessed, I owe them everything, I'm blessed. Made a living making art and aiming closely at they neck. If you think I'm not a threat, I'm like incorrect. Yeah. She come up, put her on block list. I could have.
So hello and welcome to another map of Counter-Strike. As of course we are not done here with our first map, and I'm still joined by Trevor. Victor. So yeah, what do you think is gonna happen here on map 2 Inferno?
This should be an opportunity to B&E to take everything away after barely sealing away that first map from me. Hard fought all the way till the bitter end, playing the full 30 rounds of regulation. Now with their ideal map pick, to do an upset if they want to even bring us to it. It's been great to see them performing and looking a lot better, but it looks like they're destined to go to a good old 2-2 situation unless we're proven otherwise. You can see the stats of Inferno. Both these teams look higher ranking, and the experience from B&E should give them the favor to edge this out.
I mean, on paper, of course, but on the other side, on paper, Heat has a 27% win rate, or had a 27% win rate on Ancient, and we went the distance. So Inferno, I think, is definitely something that both teams have proven that they can play it with, of course, these pretty good win rates. The thing is, on Heat, of course, they have played a lot more, 17 times in the last 3 months. B&E, of course, only 9 times. But the teams that B&E played, I think, were a little bit higher caliber than the one Heat's playing. On the other side, it seems that Heat is looking pretty good. They have been on the uptrend. We saw it earlier in the last time, of course, you know, with the recent addition of Makar, the switch with Body there. So I think he's definitely looking good, as of course he has been fracking pretty well for them. But of course, only time will tell. But Inferno, I think it will again be a very close one, which definitely has the potential to send us into Vertigo, but also the possibility that if you're gonna see B&E make this a 2-0, I think it will be a mixed bag. Like, it's 50-50 in my eyes, but of course, that's only the caster's view on that.
Yeah, I mean, still, it's a 50-50 on paper. The experience makes you feel like it's a bit more, maybe 60-40, or maybe even a little bit more towards the favor. But of course, the odds fully favoring everyone thinks it's guaranteed for B&E, which is quite a risk to go for. Could be an opportunity to earn some good old cash if he get the upset. So it's worth keeping that in mind. It's not out of the realms of possibility at all, especially after that map number 1. The only thing I have to say is if they try going for the same sort of lurky plays that they did on their T and CT side, I don't see them being able to exploit that in the same way on Inferno as you can on a map like Ancient. Inferno been played for so long, so many years. Every single team is understanding of the timings, the opportunities. So you're not going to be able to just freely get a lurk from the A-bomb site to pick a player off normally. Now, of course, we've seen those mistakes happen in the past, but it's very unlikely.
I mean, that's the thing. That's also something with the layout of Inferno, where on Ancient you have multiple ways to get pretty quickly from one side for the other one. On, of course, Inferno, it's kind of just one way, depending on, of course, the side. Either go middle, or of course you can go around CT spawn. But of course, it's like kind of bundling together and very key points. So it's also taking a little bit longer. So of course, I think the lyrics will not be so efficient. But of course, you said it, it's all possibility that we're gonna see something, as of course, if you make a mistake, it can happen. In general, of course, Inferno more, I think, a little bit more tactical, as of course, the teams have played it for ages. I don't know how many years it is in the pool. The current version, of course, we had like an older version, which of course was also nice. I remember a couple nice clips there, but of course, it's more tactical. It's also more a little bit more of fakes are something deployed on here, as of course the T's have the very quick rotation possibility from banana into abs, into middle, wherever they want to please and go. So I think that's definitely a possibility. But of course, let's take a look at the game and maybe see who's gonna make this one.
Now, of course, it's worth keeping in mind.
There we go. Yeah, pissed around.
As we go in with map number 2 between Bad News Eagles and Heat, that B&E enjoy going for this brawly style. You see how much they're wide swinging on the first map. They want to go for these duels. They want to go for these fights. And there's a map that encourages the sort of strategy that it's more your players than necessarily your utility usage. That's something where Inferno's far more favorable for B&E. And that's the reason why they banned something like Nuke, for example, instead. They want to use their players to be able to have the manpower to go through rather than creative plays strategically. It's a good counter smoke from Scenario, but he has to immediately surrender and give it all away as he will push through the speed bomb site. But of course, there is that little bit of a gap, a bit of a mistake on that classic CT smoke, and quick rotations from B&E. They of course have to back away, but these T's are sandwiched.
That is correct, and there we go. From every single angle, they have been shot. It's only Xpil left, and he also is kind of there's not so many places where he can be, and I really like that B&E are realizing very early that it will be a full attack onto the side. The players from the A side just of course, they can try, but of course, they will be shot this every single time they are trying that. And so B&E taking a very, to be honest, convincing first pistol round, as they were reading Heat pretty early. I mean, of course, we saw also the player throwing the smoke, of course, seeing, I think, like 4 plays or something. So it was pretty clear that this will be B execute. So the flank from behind could come in early. With that, we have a little technical pause. And yeah, B&E seeming to, of course, invest in that, as they have the one side Heat so far. Not really, well, we have one player missing, so maybe that is the reason why they have not bought anything yet. So let's hope we're gonna have a very quick fix for that.
Yeah, always can find those little hiccups, any TeamSpeak issue, and then suddenly you have to have a game restart. So
yeah, maybe like something like FPS or something you just have to restart Counter-Strike. Then you have, of course, to go in the menu, go connect to the server, which of course can take some time, but normally it can be fixed pretty quickly. And yeah, what do you think will be the game plan for Heat now coming forward? As of course, it can be a little bit tricky. Of course, it is a city side map, meaning on paper the city side should be able to win more rounds, and Heat, of course, on the T side. I expecting, of course, for them to not invest, go for a full set of AKs in round number 3. that would be, of course, a way to go, as they have not planted the bomb, did not get the extra money from that. But I'm looking forward to see how HEET is in generally approaching the T side.
Yeah, trying to approach the T side from the right perspective, able to get those players in. I feel like with how aggressive B&E like playing, you just want to try to get that early weapon advantage. Just fully go with the Glocks as much as it's tempting to try to get that quick second round. Just let them get that early 2-round lead and try to immediately deny them the third with the proper AKs in play when they still have mostly MP9s. But they'll go for a half investment, throwing in at least a Galil on X-Real with some armor. But just Glocks otherwise, and this is where that Galil investment becomes a bit questionable, because you make that small mistake scenario getting caught out with one of those MP9s, but you fully lost Banana, you easily have 3 players fully smoking you out of it, and it's a nice first pick, but you need to be able to find more off of it, and these MP9s are ready to feed down all these players.
That is correct, as of course everybody except X-Real has not wonderful armor, and of course MPs are so good against armor. And look at that, again, so aggressive there from B&E. I mean, it definitely is working. It can be a huge surprise, even though the smoke was thrown from middle, so it could be maybe an indication. And HEET, of course, playing it slow, hoping that maybe the B&E will be a little bit too aggressive than they already are, maybe making a mistake and playing it down. We're going to just spamming down, hoping that, you know, they're going to hit something. I have one player coming out, more Molotovs going in, and there we go, the Galil finding another kill there. With that, we actually have a man advantage, but there's only 30 seconds on the clock, so a little bit strange round from HEET here and from B&E, but it can work as, you know, GXX. Oh, that was wonderful upper aim here, you know. It doesn't matter which gun you ask, the aim will be very crisp, and you know, even with the MP, and look at that, he's going in, but oh, another kill there, but unfortunately on the side, he has to hold it because his teammate is not yet there. And here we go, attack on the side, he's gonna find the first one from behind. The MP also ruling supreme, and B&E actually making this second round, but it was such a costly round. You have to imagine it was only the single Galil invested. Of course, and with that, taking out 3 players, that is it's definitely a little victory there for HEET. Because it will be limiting.
They were able to find, yeah, it was amazing they were able to find so much damage with that Galil. But, of course, so much map control gain for so long, no way for them to get the round. However, you can get a round in of bets clicking on the banner down below, 15 bet for free for new customers through Bet Boom. Feel free to just scroll on down below.
Yeah, you cannot lose. That is, of course, is a free bet of $15. And B&E, well, they are looking to maybe get another round in. I mean, of course, GXX now has that AWP after getting a couple of MP frags last month. But of course, HEET now have the weaponry. They have Galils. They have AKs, at least more than one. So let's see what we're gonna get. And lucky, seeing that one player was actually in the corner, spamming him down. And again, a very early frag here for the HEET side. But still, one frag is not enough. Let's see if they can get a little bit more, or if Bad News Eagle wants to make it even. And it seems they want to go towards the A side, at least for now.
And the lurk on through, of course. Found an early pick. Regan always ready to take those fights, generally in some form of mid position. Banana on this map, just ready to take those fights and go aggro. But it means that they have to find a man advantage somewhere else, but it's instead nothing, as Exercise is ready to catch Synopsy, trying to lurk through mid-late. But of course, GXX with that AWP, always able to find impact, and that one frag is enough to back them away to try to lean towards A, as that Opera's traditionally the rotation player. So once that's been given away, they do have to go for the plant on the site. It's a quick trade. There will be time enough to plant. Juan going for that peak just a little bit too early and forcing the CTs on the save. And the third round from HEET, that is exactly what they desired to obtain.
Yeah, that was still very close, but in the end able to get it. And yeah, it will be the first one for Heat as BNE, forced to save this one. I mean, Center and GXX able to get their weapons through. So at least something, but everybody else will be kind of broken. As of course the CT economy had not really any time to, grow. As it is currently pretty dry on the other side. Heat, of course, they're going to get a decent amount of cash, of course, with that bonus money from the bomb. And Heat, the first time they actually have real weapons able to get the first one on the board. Let's take a look at the replay. Lucky was spamming down the player who was kind of trapped in the corner. GXX finding a kill and of course peeking, but unable to connect onto both. If he gets both of the players, it will be their own victory for BNE. But it didn't happen, so Heat on 1.
Certainly, and I mean, if you have the one player in that position get the double and you lose the round because of that, that would be absolutely catastrophic. That's not a round that you're supposed to lose in that sort of situation. But the proper trade goes through. A little bit of a run boost to set up GXX with that AWP, but instead it is Maka going for a bit of an aggressive play with the AK, maybe getting inspiration of some of the recent plays of how Kenny's been playing on Falcons, wanting to follow up and match that up. But now, Regan able to find the first, once again, from Banana. Always good for at least one. Which is so impressive when he does it with the Deagle so much of the time. Only issue is they're tossing that AK away. Early swapping the Galil out for it and tossing it away. Making sure no one can steal it. But of course, Synopsy will at least be able to scavenge that Deagle. They're gambling 3 towards A without the information. Synopsy does have that smoke, and if they rush through, especially with Yoko being down at 22, could get a lot done with just this Deagle alone on the speed bomb site. Perfect read on the timing, getting down to 45 seconds. That smoke's going to delay them just a bit further for another 15. Likely still go for the execute for this, but it will start to leave that concern, and it's enough that these A players on BNE can start the rotation. Even the nade follow-up. Thrown a little bit shy. And none of the Deagles connecting, surprisingly. Fortunate enough for Heat. But Juan's going to run through this, and that's the bomb plant initially denied. This time running low, and that means Synopsy can find the opportunity to run through. Lucky's the last one left, and he uses the knife to get a 3K. BNE to get the third in the most insulting way possible.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think it was insulting, as he, of course, had no bullets left in his Deagle, and of course he had the knife left. But yeah, just jumping in, finding the kills, and very interesting round as he's going in. There we go, no bullets left, and then he just goes in for the knife, finding the player, and BNE able to close this one out somehow. And yeah, that kind of has to sting for Heat, but of course they have still money left, at least on 3 players. All exercise that Makar still has, a Deagle in his hand, but we have seen Deagles can be very good. So let's see if they can also make some wonders happen with these nice pistols.
Sitting on through. Good early utility, not allowing them to get any of that banana control. Even throwing a molly towards the logs. That smoke's a little bit too deep to be able to allow them to hard clear the position. They'll have to use can assume that banana's been cleared out. Follow it up with that second set of utility. Have GXX swing it instead, so you can have these 4 rifles stacked up in this AWP for this initial contact. HE a little bit too shallow to connect on any of these bottom mid players. But of course, the flashbangs to follow leaves 2 blind. They want to be able to get this banana control because you have to. Because without it, like we see and mentioned before, you end up having 4 players on the A site instead. So now they're able to allow the rotation to be forced back and maybe even an opening on B if they go quick enough, as that smoke has been given with a miss. It is a bit of a bait to have them walk into the op line of GXX. As you can see, X-Ray realizes that if it wasn't for that flashbang, his life would be forfeit, as they execute into the site. It's going to be left to a bit of a retake scenario, trying to boost over the smoke, and Yoko finds 2. They're trying to spam through the smoke to kill the bomb planter once again, but they don't find anything, and it's left in a 3v5. It'd have to be a miracle. Dwan only able to find 1, and now these last 2 players left isolated in the ruins, able to easily be traded out, and it's a second round for HEET.
That's correct. And yeah, the AWP tried his shot, and you can see going in again. Like able to do something, but in the end, it was not enough. Just gunning them down. 3 players surviving there for HEET, and we have another pause. Seems to
Maybe
have
taking a nice moment to breathe.
maybe.
In one way or another. It has been a very bloodbath start, even with the 2 timeouts that have been done. And very chaotic. But a bit of a blunder. I don't know what the boost play was they were going for on BNE, but the fact that it wasn't on top of the grave on ruins means that they aren't able to boost on top of it to be able to see anything. Instead, just end up being a blind totem pole left dedicated to the position with no information. I don't know how Yoko found the double, because that was the difference maker that allowed them to have that 2-man advantage to just anchor the site, rather than allow B&E to even have a chance in the retake that they did previously.
Yeah, but here we go. Seems all the problems have been resolved, and we will go back into this one. Of course, B&E have no money left to spend on this round, and so it's looking good that maybe HEET can claw back and make it even, as of course they have the rifles while B&E don't. So let's see what we're gonna get.
That's a bit of a question. We got an early triple nade stack towards Car, just in case. Have no one towards that position. Of course, they're left on an eco with USPs, and they're deciding apartments is the aggressive way to go. But there's only 2 players here, and of course, one of them is the bomb carrier. They have to connect the spray perfectly, which is exactly what they do. They take a decent amount of shots to the head, but I guess some of them must have clipped through the apartments, or else these players would have been taken down. I heard at least double dinks on both of them, but instead it's Synopsy left alone, and now a bit more proper manpower support can come on in, missing all the shots with the USP, so Yoko will be able to take him down. And it is a clean third from HEET. The opportunity for everything to go sideways was such a creative eco-round plan to catch out the bomb carrier, but they just aren't able to find those 1 or 2 shots needed to change the tide of battle.
Yeah, that's true. The pistols, you know, they don't really have so much opportunity to get something. And, of course, grouping up, hoping to, you know, just overwhelm somebody is definitely a valid strategy. Sadly, it didn't work for B&E. But, of course, HEET able to make a 3. But now we have weapons on everybody. AWP on GXX once again. And, yeah, his counterpart definitely does not have one so far. But definitely HEET starting off pretty well. You know, 3 rounds on the T side is already pretty decent. And of course, this map is still hopefully pretty long, as, you know, it is on paper a CT-sided map. But of course, if you know how to play it on T side, it can be very good as well. Look at this double positioning here on that balcony. Definitely can catch it out, as they are looking towards that actually a play with 3 players going over balcony. So let's see what we're gonna get. Abs play is there, and look at that, they're just lining up. They were hoping that there was a flashbang, but there was just no flashbang, and so 3 players going down. A wonderful take here on the A side without any real problem.
Trying to look through. The fact that consistently, multiple times now, even with any of the information given, HEET are able to just exploit and win these duels to break through, means that they're able to get this advantage on the T side. And of course, this meta's been sort of evolving to a T-sided one, so things aren't looking too grim just yet. But the fact that B&E have been left on these saves multiple times, generally unable to save the rifles in any way, and the fact that HEET look prepared to try to take out these last remaining 2. And so far, the saves have been not successful for B&E. It's a little bit worrying. Regan should be able to catch one with the boost, but the shoulder peek makes it clean. Now the follow-up on these last remaining two. Got a player fully dedicated in the site, and there's a molly that's been thrown towards this position Regon is holding. We'll have to see how much is saved. It looks like he was successfully taken down. Was that M4 somewhere on the floor? Doesn't look like it, though.
Nope.
And it's just the one on scenario.
Yeah, that's definitely a hit there for the round. Of course, you know, halving their firepower. And HEET looking to extend their lead a little bit to make it 5, except we're going to see some heroic plays with these pistols and, of course, the saved M4. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. We have seen already the Deagle going to take a look, but this time it seems not to be lucky, taking him out without a problem. An early man advantage for HEET as Jocko, he wants to go even further, peeking into the side. That definitely can be very dangerous, especially if there are some Deagles planted on the side. Rotation coming to the B side, so we have now 2 defenders. Jocko just creeping around, but there we go, center with the M4, finding the first one, and yeah, HEET deciding now to go back as they don't really want to fight that rifle.
Certainly makes enough sense. But all it takes is the lurk. HEET have been catching the opportunities to leave these players exposed, and these rotations should be heard by Lucky as he gets into this corner to really hear the rotations as good as possible. GXX realizes that an opening might have been given away for free, so even though that he doesn't have the armor this round to help, stolen AK does give an opportunity, especially if he gets boosted up just like that. Realizes that it might be a B play, and it's a good call as Scenario is able to find the first, and GXX can just play anti-flash. There's that nade is some good harassment, and the position gets hard cleared. It's perfect from Exercise and Lucky as wide swinging through. Scenario is able to find one, but it won't be enough as that bomb carefully is planted down. But Exercise caught looking the wrong way, and that bomb means the position's known. Lucky has to land the shot, but he does so successfully, so he keeps lead 5-3 as B&E go for a full buy on round number 9.
Yeah, but still, that was a very close one, as they only had a couple of Deagles and, of course, saved M4. So definitely way closer than he hoped for. But in the end, it is, in fact, a round. With that, we have B&E once again able to take their weapons in their hands and, you know, try to close the gap at least a little bit. Of course, as they have full set, and Nucky, it seems he wants to go aggressive into Banana. Smelling that, oh, actually getting hit by a flashbang, taking a single point of damage there. Sadly not a kill. I mean, flashbang kills, they're hilarious, you know, but not to be, as we see. He was trying to go for something with an early nade, trying to do some damage, but then going back, and this time it seems he'd have set their eyes towards the A side. As you can see, Executioners going in, Molotov going in, doing a decent amount of damage, but Jocko is a little bit further than John Flatro was able to predict, and there we go. Oh, spotting the upper, not able to get at least one there. Snupsy finding another one, but the side is lost at least. Except you're gonna see some heroics from the players in the pit, but no, he will be traded. It will be a 2v3, so the bomb has to go down.
With that bomb going down, it's now another very difficult retake. They want to start finding rounds at this point. They're down 3-5, don't want it to be 3-6. But this is a round that you should save in most circumstances. Even with those missed shots from Lucky, it'll be just enough his presence existing there for X-Real and Maka to find the frags. And with that, he finds 6, but instead, with the economy fully eliminated from B&E, they'll have to be going for another half buy once again as they're left on the back foot, and HEET are looking beautiful in this map pick of theirs.
So far, yeah, they seem just dominant, not really making so many mistakes, and B&E unable really to get anything done. They're now taking a timeout. I think definitely something that could maybe help them take at least a couple more. I mean, it will probably not really be helping so much in this one. I mean, they will probably be able to upgrade to at least a couple of Deagles, maybe an MP if they're feeling daring and don't want to play with a full set of utility next round. Of course, let's see what we will have. I mean, we have seen B&E, they can play with Deagles. They won a single round already with just a set of Deagles. And the time we had like Deagles and 1M4, it was very close. So definitely a threat that he has to think about, because they have, B&E definitely have been showing that they can play with just pistols.
pistols brought on out. We've seen miracles happen with the 5.7, but B&E do in fact need a miracle too, but they found a little evidence of being able to provide such a thing. Uh-oh, getting stuck in the library door. A little bit of an awkward start. Double nade stack, no one to answer home, as the early presence that B&E have held of Banana is enough that HEET don't try to go for any form of early aggression there, even understanding that the economy from B&E currently should be broken. Instead, they're waiting for opportunities, hoping that B&E pushes into them, as they have done a couple of times, generally losing it out. Once now B&E is trying to play around the information in space and understanding they are at quite a bit of a disadvantage.
I mean, a bit is definitely an understatement. So of course, he'd have a full set of rifles in their hands. I mean, we have a 3-stack on A. We have 2 players on B, and I like that Pete is playing a little bit more slowly, trying to figure out if there is somewhere like a 5-stack or something, or maybe some aggression from the pistols, as of course that is like the ways to win with pistols. Just, you know, trying to overwhelm somebody or just, you know, go aggressive and find early picks. Surprising your enemy, but here we go, Regan with the smoke in his hand. He's going in while one player is, of course, up on that boost. Of course, denying. And the thing is that 20 seconds left, so they have to go for some red.
And that is a beautiful nade directly landing onto 2. That should help these 5.7s and Deagles to get work done. As time's running low, the sound cues give everything away, but it's only 1 with 1. GXX has it all to do, and he only finds another on the follow-up. This bomb will safely get planted without issue. The rotations of these pistols are quick, but of course the shots of the AKs are just as fast to keep on pace, and it means he will safely convert the 7. B&E is able to consistently find damage, but unable to hard anchor and find the frags needed to get these rounds.
That is correct. It seems like they are better with pistols than with rifles, as it seems the rifles just get overwhelmed by the pistols, somehow find always a little of damage. But here we go, now we have rifles once again, and let's see if they can maybe do something with that, while we have aggressive, you know, take onto that banana position. The Molotov at least doing something on center, look at that, down to 21 HP so early with these nades. At the same time, you know, X-Wheel also taking some heavy damages there. So HEET is getting pushed away from banana, and yeah, HEET seems like to play like a little bit slowly on that T side, and so far it has been working on pretty well. I don't think they will expect that, but of course, if he is getting caught with a nade in his hand, it will be very hard to find a kill. There we go, he's gonna re-smoke that, spamming around, and with that, we only have a single minute left on the clock.
And that minute left should be plenty enough time to work with in most circumstances, especially if they go up B this quickly, but pushing it with your hands on your eyes, left a bit blind, means that Regan's able to find an easy, comfortable double, even though Maka will take him down. Now the boost can come on in. Juan finds the 1, and B&E have a couple of mistakes from HEET to be able to capitalize on, to have something finally go their way to get a bit of an advantage, and that AWP will not be able to be preserved either. Gets taken on down. B&E finally find 4, but they're still on the back foot. They got a lot more T economy to burn through, and a lot more opportunities to have things slip away from them.
That is true. This map is still long and still exciting. And with that, you're gonna take a look at who has the most entry kills, and it seems to be X-Real. Same with Jocko and Lucky and Exercise and GXX, so a huge tie there. But still, he got them first, so he is currently leading that. Let's see if he maybe can get his 3rd one now, as of course he's charging forward. But it will be Regan. Good nade.
Trying to set on up. Yeah, Lucky able to get that logs position at a decent cost, especially when you find that 4-to-4 trade, because now the CTs have to give yourself opportunities, and that's exactly what X-Real's capitalizing on. With that flashbang thrown, gives the info that they're trying to retake the A site, that they don't know where these T's are. So now the arch lurk from X-Real could have come in to find one, but instead it will be a late smoke, jumping through it. Spam not connecting just yet, but that's enough info that with these players rotating, that they can just cut the rotations off and go towards this B site and have X-Real deny everything, lurking through the smoke, patiently waiting. This is a done deal as X-Real finds a double through the smoke. These last two players are dedicated towards the wrong bomb site, so even if Scenario finds this kill for free, it would be a bit of a miracle for them to find a chance in this round. But CT isn't smoked, so that's the bomb down. The miracle has been given away. Lucky unable to find the trade, able to swing through, and Exercise takes him down. But now a chance for Juan Flatro in the 1v2 if he wishes to so go for this.
That is correct, and if somebody can do it, then he definitely is a candidate for that, as he can be definitely do this one. And let's see, we have one player holding in dark. Let's see if he is able to check this one. It will be a very good one. Of course, there's so many angles to check, and he actually wins that one, but the reach is there. Exercise able to get the one back, unable to pick out the AWP though. Of that, we have a HEET on 8, already winning that half time. And oh, look at that. That was perfect timing there on the smoke. Just fading right in the moment that she needed that to be. And yeah, again, it was very close, but HEET able to prevail and win another round again.
Yeah, it has to be sort of the dream situation in a sense, to be able to just constantly keep this barrage going, to steal the rounds one at a time. You have GXX with just a scout, unable to connect the shot, and of course Regan's gone aggressive towards Banana once again, but no one for him to get the opportunity against, causing perhaps a little bit of frustration. And that's gotta sting, just being caught out like that. Juan a little bit slow on the trade, will eventually find it, but now the full assault, they're pushing everyone towards this A site. They do have 3 players here, but here's the worst part. They could just freely back away and just rotate somewhere else with this molly. It denies the rotation. Now they know these players are locked down. They could lean back towards B once again if they wanted, but they'll instead take the fight directly to A, and that's a bit unfortunate for them, as Juan has had some duels go his way to find success for B&E to find 5, and now that bomb's down. They're stuck dedicated in this position, and these rifles can just spray away until X-Real fully dedicates towards the peak and gets taken down.
Yeah, it was definitely HEET not playing so well. Of course, we saw, they're lining it up, and it could have been more if we just didn't run out of bullets. With that, we finally have another round, 5 on the board. Of course, we have 2 more rounds, so 10, 5 definitely a possibility on the side. Of course, 7 to 8 also a possibility. While Synopsy killing chickens. I don't know why they're all killing the chickens. What have they done to them? Man.
It's a nice distraction. Just randomly have this chicken.
4 chickens.
You get the
Adopt
opportunity.
them. Press E on them and adopt them. They will run towards you and everything. And don't kill the chickens. They're innocent.
That would give a bit of info potentially, though. So you have to be cautious of that. Like how there's a little bit of info obtained through the smoke. Regan finds the timing to get it first, and a perfect pop flash to support. And Scenari takes out Lucky. Banana's fully been lost. Exercise finds one towards A, gets full arch control, and that leaves a bit of an opening, but there should be no awareness towards second mid being held. A bit of a scary situation as Exercise now finds a second. He's aware of this third player in the rotation, and now with 3, the B site's left completely exposed. It's up to Regan to try to deny this bomb planter, but Maka is able to land the shot so quickly, and now Juan is left in a 1v3. B bomb site lost. A smoke towards Banana that he's unlikely to push through, and HEET are looking at 9 on this T side.
That is definitely a very good T side, and of course it started so well for B&E. You know, the double kill in Banana, and then everything just fell apart. It seems, you know, just HEET able to get the kills. Exercise with 3, kind of winning the round on his own. And yeah, John, of course, 1v3. You don't really want to try this one, as the money, of course, for the last round is not so good. So that is definitely not something. I mean, at least the good thing for B&E is that every single player is, you know, kind of doing something. Nobody just lagging behind. The other side, of course, we have Real with 14 leading the pack. With that explosion, it is 9 on the board, and Heat on a monster T side so far, and maybe looking to make this one even 10.
That is absolutely outrageous. The fact that they might be able to get away with this. And you can see Synopsy with an auto shotgun to try to find some response of any kind. B&E have been failing to hold on to any of these bomb sites on this defense. Maybe they can fit a little bit better on the aggression, but this first half for them looks awfully rough. And considering that Heat almost took away the map pick of Ancient, they have to feel great about it. Perfect headshot with the XM, but unable to follow up that second. It's good damage on the Exercise, but no frag. And of course, that is one of their key weapons taken out, as they are left in a scrappy buy. All it takes is that smoke to fade, and it's the aggressive play through short, giving them the opening, the opportunity, but Juan's been cleared out, and GXX, of course, left exposed, shot in the back by X-Real, bombs down on the A site, and B&E, an impossible retake to try to get a 6 on this defense.
It will be very hard. I mean, at least 2 players are pretty low, X-Real and Exercise, but of course it will be so hard, as you said. Bomb is, of course, ticking. They have no kit, meaning they have to actually hurry and find these kills. And this Molotov will definitely not make it easier. Bomb is ticking. It's already over halfway done, and still not a single kill found. So it will be hard. It's going to push, and look at that. Flashbang is good. They're going to light him up. It will be 10 for Heat. A wonderful T side, and B&E definitely have a lot to do if they want to come back and not go to Vertigo.
Certainly don't want it to head that way. But then again, you need to win this map to get it there anyways. So, and to be able to do it in such a comfortable fashion at the moment, 10-5, this is looking rough for the side of Bad News Eagles. And I have to wonder how they find the road to this recovery. As you can see, these odds have swung in the favor of Heat, and you can see exactly why, as they have looked beautiful on this T side of Inferno.
Is correct. And if you want to take advantage of these odds, then of course you can claim that $15 free bet on Bad Boom for new customers. There's a wonderful panel down below which you can click, get redirected to Bad Boom, and claim your $15 free bet for of course new customers only. Put them maybe on B&E. That's 3.8. That is well, more than $30, which is good. Or of course go for maybe Heat, depending on, of course, who you are rooting for and think is going to win this one. But let's go into the second pistol round to see which team maybe get a step closer to winning this map here.
Yeah, timer can start ticking down. This is going to be such an important pistol to be able to find a way to recover, have a little bit of momentum to find the opportunity to get back into this, to not be left completely caught out and exposed as they have been currently. They should be able to go aggressive on this T side, but of course a potential balcony peek soon, but instead towards Boiler, and a quick shot from GXX, and those dualies have been shut down, and that means Synopsy can use it to follow up to find one with a responsive GXX. And this should be a save from these last 2 CT players, as miserable as that feels.
I mean, yeah, it will be very hard to do anything, and saving, of course, the armor from Lucky and the dualies could be beneficial. Now, Jacko on the other side, well, he has a kit, which can also be helpful in the next one. So they're just going to save and give B&E that wonderful pistol round. Of course, that is something they need if they want to make it in a 2-0 fashion. Of course, closing the gap with that, probably by, well, at least 2, of course. But you never know, GXX getting, traded there. And there we go, 6 on the Bark and Jacko going down in the wonderful last seconds of the round. Look at that. Nicely done. So, no kit for the side of Heat. And yeah, of course, unlikely that they're gonna force into this one as well. They don't really have. I mean, of course, Lucky could go for something as he has armor, but it's very unlikely. Maybe for some upgrade pistols, but no, we're not gonna have anything like that. It's looking that maybe BNE will close the gap a little bit, but of course, pistols have won already around, I think, this tournament. I mean, playing pistols. I mean, technically it's not playing pistols as we have, of course, Lucky with dualies. But let's see how this will go. You're gonna have an attack onto the A side, and well, he's there gambling on the B side with 4 players on B, which of course is not the right side as BE is going towards that A side. We have 1 player in Boiler. See if that will make an impact, and sure luck with that, John. He's actually looking into that. But that's an upsy. Oh, the timing not there, just barely not. And oh, there we go, going around, finding the first one, nearly finding a second. So the duel is definitely working out there for them, but look at that, everybody else is currently rotating over from B. So a bomb plant will at least be for B&E there.
And with that advantage, they can enjoy some nice picks with these AKs. Yoko able to get the double dink, make it 3, because there's no head armor on that good old player of Juan. So now he has a stolen AK, and this bomb will finish being planted, and it's a perfect hard clear scenario, reading exactly the position he went to. He'll be able to recover that AK and make sure things don't snowball too far out of control.
But yeah, but still, taking out 3 players is a huge one there for HEET, limiting that economy of the T's, even though they have a bomb plant, but still taking out 3 players with only pistols is a huge one. And with that, we can see they're now going to invest into that. So let's see, can HEET go to 11 or B&E close the gap even further? Let's see that in round number 18. Well, Lucky is throwing away, you know, a little bit too much there. You should probably stick to your rifle. Let's see what we're gonna get.
What we will get is a bit of patience as they have been smoked off in good old Banana. So they'll have to hold on at least for a moment as they keep their thoughts into play. And with that information towards B, they're able to start throwing this utility, counteract, put pressure towards this short position. So they do have essentially the 4-man stack towards A, so they're feeling the heat. The scenario is ready to take this initial contact. However, this is what they want. They do want to take the fight. Laka pushing forward for the information, having everyone stacked together. They do line up, but Xreal finds a double in the fight. And of course, he ends up making it 3. And now Juan's left in the 1v2, unable to find the first to make it a clutch potential. It's been an amazing spray down from Xreal to give the round to HEET, as when you just have so many players stacked up in this position, that is exactly what you want for these teams to contend for that mid control and end up peaking 1 by 1 for you to be able to win the round.
Through the boost working perfectly, and well, B&E, well, they have of course invested a lot in last rounds, meaning they are now stuck with, well, not a lot. And with that, we are now looking to maybe HEET closing it maybe to 12 and shortening the gap to victory to 4. Of course, we've seen already pistols, at least in this half, can be very dangerous, as of course HEET took out 3 players, which of course is resulting in, of course, B&E not really prize victory here for B&E. I mean, it's definitely a possibility, but only time will tell. And yeah, their first frag is definitely not in their favor, as Xreal definitely watching his step and finding the kill on A.
That will cause a bit of a hop. Ooh, some smooth B hops going on through from Juan.
It was pretty
but
long.
That won't matter much as they are a man
style
down.
Point. He's getting some style points
given
from
the
that.
space.
He's getting some style points
given
from
the
that.
Space, they should be able to get the bomb down on B, which they will be quite happy with, especially if Regan finds a clean shot like that on the way. Yoko left exposed alone, and they have to run to be able to try to obtain those rifles. So now Scenari's position's known. Mako will be able to easily obtain the punish there, and these rifles should be able to close out the round. But of course, being able to get that bomb, they should be happy enough just with that. Flashbang is perfectly timed. GXX is left alone with his P250. 3 players with rifles swinging towards the position. No way to find success on the denying the retake. And it will be 12 for HEET. But it will be a comfortable buy. B&E will be able to get all the utility they desire, at least, to work with. Though they need rounds at this point, as HEET are starting to get close to that key finish line.
That is true. Vertigo is currently looming above us. But of course, B&E, you said it, they have now all the money in the world to go for that perfect buy. And let's see if they can now use that to maybe punch in round number 8. Or will HEET continuing to get rounds and make it 13, maybe 14? Let's figure that out. Omaka on the wonderful pillar trying to get something. He saw the player jumping around. And they'll probably also know where that, an AWP is, watching them. But Unfato taking a knight down. And with that, he's only 62 HP, which is definitely not a lot. Still alive. We can see they're looking towards B again, at least in the opening stages here. Was very hoping that maybe he can catch CT out in the open, but XP11, he's playing on the side again. Same as last round, but was definitely very successful for HEET. And it seems B&E, they are looking to go towards that A side as they're looking to opening up here. Trying to throw all their utility onto the side, but playing a little bit slowly there. So maybe that can work well, as still 3 players on the side from HEET are so far defending it. But let's see if they can hold.
Going through, swinging wide. Synopsy able to find one, but again, Exercise with a double, and the info this player found is a perfect bait and switch. Juan goes for the repeat, wins it, so now it's a 2v2, the retake as the bomb goes down. They're quickly rotating through mid from that B site. They have a fair shot at this if they want to take that risk to try to close this second map early, but with how the meta's been, far more advantageous to save in the situation and maybe find an exit or 2 on the way out.
Indeed, it seems to be Jame time. Well, except it's not really, as we have Lucky also alive. But of course, saving these rifles for the next round could be beneficial. And the thing is, they have the rounds. I mean, of course, B&E is pretty far behind currently, meaning it's not a big deal if they are giving them 8 on the board. And with that, Lucky able to at least catch one player out. GXX surviving in the corner, and let's take a look at some of the replays here. Snopsy finding the first one and nearly able to get the second one. Gianfatto pushing out, of course, the player a little bit, distracted. And with that, we have 8 on the board. HEET, of course, with these saved rifles, able to at least invest a little bit, while B&E taking a timer to discuss how they should approach this round here, as of course they have money, they have the bomb plan, but of course the bank is still not there for B&E, as they have not won so many in a row.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth noting that this is probably the #1 key round to keep in mind, because if B&E are able to take this, they can fully reset, break that HEET economy, get a streak going a little bit on this T side, keep up the momentum, close that gap, and not allow HEET to find that 13 to be able to start finishing us off on this map #2 to bring us to a third decider of Vertigo. Expected for HEET to win this, they would want, but maybe they have been looking absolutely brilliant, showing that they can contend against the best. It has to be leaving a little bit of mental damage on B&E. Going for the quick Mac-10 play. Yoko's left on fire, able to smoke himself out. But Scenari has the timing, of course, caught in an unexpected position. Somehow, the utility, the flashbangs are enough that they're able to contend to get the man advantage. But now, you have Yoko still stuck there in 2 AK Spring to hunt him down. This B site has been lost, though the Molly will at least deny the bomb plant coming in just so soon yet.
That was definitely chaos. You know, turned up to 11. And in the end, the MP's definitely doing a lot. But look at that exercise with a still very nice looking shotgun. But in the end, it is still just a shotgun. So it will be very hard to do anything with that. And of course, he will stick around because, you know, getting even a single kill is could be worth it. Maybe even getting more, as of course GXS is pretty low. And yeah, B&E looking good to make it 9, close the gap to only 3 rounds. And HEET, of course, they will be able to save that AWP, but in the end, it still will not be good by us to the spawn. It's not so high, but look at that. Finding one, finding a second one there. I mean, he wouldn't be able to defuse the bomb, but of course, that is definitely a lot of money in his pocket. So maybe he's going to upgrade to a pistol.
Certainly a possibility. I mean, you can see the fact that HEET are so competitive in these rounds that he's able to make so many miracles happen with just this force buy. They're able to take the brawl towards Banana to keep the fight up. And of course, Exercise, he's always so good to find consistently 2 players time and time again to get so much damage and even have that reserve cash. So it will keep him built up even with the full investment in the previous. And it means bold play, and GXX somehow lands that. It means A's been left exposed, and Exercise is hoping to find a lurk or a chance given away. But when it's 4v2, unlikely for much to be done, as the USP is unable to find anything, and Exercise hoping to preserve his teammates' AWP at this point.
Yeah, it would be very beneficial, as of course an AWP will be very hard to obtain. Of course, you could go also with a glass cannon without any utility, without anything. But of course, B&E making this map competitive. I mean, if you remember, they were behind, I think, like 6 rounds at some point, or 5 rounds at some point. So T-side definitely clawing back here, shortening the gap to only 2 rounds. And with that, we might have maybe B&E going away. I mean, we had HEET definitely also in a huge comeback on the T side on Ancient, nearly able to close this one out. And we're going well on 1 HP. Of course, you're fighting as an AWP, so there's definitely a possibility to go for that. And oh, missed shot is there. As will you expect the player from behind? He will finding the kill with that, but look at that. In the end, he will be traded. So definitely, that's a good thing for B&E, as they're definitely happy. Look at that. Center even, you know, clapping, giving a high five to his teammate. And GXX, we can see why. Well, the AWPer finding a crisp aim dual win against the AWPer. And in the end, well, just cleaning up all the pistols and double digits. Well, Exercise, well, he was definitely putting down a good fight there, but in the end, able to be taken down. And so, no AWP, I think. No, Maka actually has one, but it is without any utility. And yeah, we can see aggressive take again. We can see trades left, right, and center. While the B aggression onto Banana definitely working out for the cities. Because of that, though, we have a very weak side on this on that A side. It's only 1 player, and John Faucio looking for that head, but unable to find it. And there we go, finally going in, finding the first player. But finally, we have some rotation coming in. Maybe a little bit too late. Center is going in, finding X-Wheel there. The trades are coming in. The bomb will go down, and Center is going to the side, but he will be traded. He's finding one with that nade, but he's able to claw the way through the defense of B&E, and with that, we have 13 for HEET.
And that's a very big 13 to get. The fact that there doesn't necessarily always have the top frags on the scoreboard, but whenever he finds those frags, it's some of the biggest impact you could ever ask for. Getting 4 and allowing for a rare retake to happen on the CT side, something B&E couldn't find any success with.
And that's
fighting just 2 on Banana wasn't enough for him.
Yeah, I think that's a very important one that X-Wheel was able to stay alive for so long, delaying the bomb plant and of course the setup for the defense life for so long. So there was already the rotation coming in for HEET, and with that able to just gun them down. And B&E, well, they had a bomb plan, but still the money will not be good. So HEET may be looking to go on to 14, while Maka getting boosted once again.
Bit of a bold move to try to get some picks, but instead it's Lucky with Yoko once again to find some success, and the fact that B&E are left with pistols, they have to respect the fact that HEET are set up to get 14. They're able to steal a FAMAS, but they shouldn't be too thrilled necessarily about that. A rare miss shot from Maka, but he won't make that mistake twice, though he will swing out a little bit too wide, and it'll require Lucky to help support him as a distraction for Exercise to get the trade, and 14 for HEET as they look to bring things to a third of Vertigo.
It's looking like that, but of course B&E, they will be fighting to deny that. And now, of course, with that set of AKs, so let's see what we're gonna get this time. Will it be HEET now going to 15, or maybe B&E trying to make this one closer? I mean, at least it's looking like that. So let's see. Marker holding with that AWP so far. Not really so much busy, you know, in that middle position. But maybe he will. And oh, wow, the timing just not there for the HEET AWPer. Let's see. I mean, we can see B&E. Oh, that's Exercise. That's a good, wonderful smoke there. You know, a little gap there. And with that, he will be rewarded with a kill on John Flatro. And man advantage early on for B&E. For HEET. There we go. Against B&E, of course.
Of course. And that means that another man advantage. They're set up, ready to get 15. Pop Flash will try to dedicate Yoko towards that angle, but of course it's a little bit of a false play. So Yoko's aware of this with the counter utility. He'll even peek behind the flames to realize that there is no one here, but there is a small chance. There's only two players, both dedicated towards the pit on this A site, and they focus on taking the site itself. They're able to take the first with no issue. Exercise then brings it in late, gets the full three-man spray down, and he even has the Tech 9 to follow if he so wishes. And Regan's left in a 1v3. Everyone ready to push towards this way, and he's not able to find a 3K of his own. HEET with a bit of a miracle spray down from Exercise to get 4K of his own, get 15.
Indeed, 15 on the board. A single round is now the thing they need if they want to go to overtime. On the side, B&E needs 5 in a row. Exercise looking good to make this nearly the ace. Still, a 4K. It is a wonderful spray transfer there. And with that, 15 on the board. B&E, of course, have enough money to buy AKs, but if they lose this one, we are going to see us on Vertigo. And so far, they had been struggling a little bit in the beginning on the T side, but it seems now the CT side is looking just on point here on their map pick.
Yeah, and be able to have this success. This is exactly what they want. Maka going alive, finding an additional pick once again. A tag on GXX, able to freely molly. They have lost a little bit of map control, but that's not going to matter when the op shots are so clean and the anchoring from Yoko to follow up is pristine. Lucky able to follow up, and now GXX is the last player to keep hopes alive, left in a 1v4. Exercise will be ready to finish what he started to get 16 for HEET, and after a hard-fought battle that they barely lost on map number 1, they redeemed themselves on the second as they look absolutely beautiful here. Felt like B&E didn't have that much of a chance at all on Inferno here.
Yeah, the rounds I took, we can see currently were just like kind of crazy rounds where they just went and got some surprises, some clutches or something. In general, we can see that he was the more consistent team. And with that, I think it's definitely deserved that they are going to make this one their own map. And I'm glad the lineup nearly the 3K there, but he ran out of bullets. With that, yeah, it's a 1-1. We will go to Vertigo, and I'm looking forward to Vertigo, as of course both teams have definitely not looking the best there, but still pretty decent, around 40%. But of course, we will take that look on Vertigo at some point or other.
Yeah, there could be a little bit of an argument, perhaps, for good success for B&E to close this out, but the momentum, the mental game has to be in the favor of HEET. They have to be setting up to potentially take it all away from them, to be able to deny any opportunity of success. They have to be just so happy with that being the case, that they can just take everything from B&E that does favor and take that slot and put B&E instead in the 2-2 position and be on that chance of elimination. You expect B&E to go through regardless of that case, but it would really sting them in the side if they lost that opportunity, because they need to prove themselves here and show themselves as one of the best, as they're the top team in this tournament, in this group stage, that they have to prove themselves here.
That is correct, but of course there are so many good teams in here. I don't know if, yeah, HEET, one of them, of course, they were unable to make it into the RMR, sadly, but of course they are still a good team, and I think the addition of Marker is definitely helping them. It's definitely looking so good against the B&E side, and I'm looking forward to see what we're gonna get on Vertigo. But of course that will be something we have to see on later. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, they were looking very good on the T side as well. I think, and overall, I think HEET were looking very good. And overall, I think very competitive on that map. But let's take a look at the stats. Let's see. We have B&E on, yeah, Synopsy, only 18, same with GXX. On the other side, we have Exercise with 26 and Jocko with 23. So, yeah, pretty close together.
Yeah, just a pretty average or subpar performance from almost everyone on B&E. Meanwhile, multiple players on HEET constantly finding success. Yoko and Exercise having hell of a time, comfortable on this map. You didn't even need to have Maka do that much with the AWP. Now, of course, he did find success with it on that CT side, but it wasn't entirely reliant off of it, of course. You can see round by round, HEET just on that dominant streak on that T side. B&E only able to play most of their rounds going off of the pistol and maybe a little bit elsewhere, but barely any success the whole way through.
Yeah, we see HEET in the end just able to take 5 in a row to close this one out. I mean, we can see in the end it was, I think, this thing that won them was like the very good T side half with like 10, of course, 10-5. I think that was the thing that was able to claw them back into this one, and therefore able to close it out. And we can see the odds also have shifted now 1.6 to 2.2, so still B&E a little bit favored, but completely different than 1.14, which was, of course, before that map.
Yeah, I mean, they looked so good. You expected a better performance from B&E, but it appears like they've been exploited a little bit. HEET understanding the awarenesses of what they can use to be able to take advantage. And I have to wonder if they have something cooking up that they allowed Vertigo to go through too.
I mean, Vertigo is, of course, the decider. I mean, to be honest, what else should you play? I mean, Overpass is also contention. Anubis is also a map which both teams definitely can play. So I think that is definitely possible. But in the end, it was Vertigo. I think it was like kind of conflict between these two maps, and the MVP, it is Exercise, you know, definitely looking good. Normally he's getting 18 kills. This time he went over 20, so definitely in better than average. But still, the average is looking good, and I think the MVP for him is definitely deserved, as he has been a cornerstone in this win here on Inferno.
Yeah, and you can see that even with that 1.07, it's only about 73 ADR on the map, which isn't that much, but I mean, that's due to the fact that you have all this utility volley damage coming in from other players. He's just the reliable part, getting all those spray downs to be able to find success.
Yeah, and with that, we will go into a short break, and we will be back with the decider Vertigo in just a couple of minutes, so stay tuned and see you after the break.
I think I'm playing chess, I see a king, I'm at his neck. I'm 3 steps ahead at every move, now that's a check. Yes, they wanna know my secret, it's because I never slept. All my nightmares of me at 40, life's a wreck. See my dad, he in debt, and my mom, she upset. That's way back when 408 on Seminole was the address. I saw things I shouldn't have, though I love the family to death. Way back then it was a mess, we was living check to check. Now my shirts are getting pressed, your girl see me, she impressed. And my fans are quite obsessed, I owe 'em everything, I'm blessed. Made a living making art and aiming closely at they neck. If you think I'm not a threat, I'm like, incorrect. Yeah, she called, I put her on block list. I call that options. They can support it, get dropped quick. They be my stock pick. I guess I'm back in the cockpit. Turn the whole crowd to a mosh pit. I make it hit like a drop kick, cause I got the key like a locksmith. Think I'm playing chess, I see a king, I'm at his neck. I'm 3 steps ahead at every move, now that's a check. Yes, they wanna know my secret, it's because I never slept. All my nightmares of me at 40, life's a wreck. If I'm making up the hop and the ghost, then I'll be a ghost. What I do is a hobby for most, a comedy roast. So I'm on my own, I gotta be known, I gotta be toast. I'm in an really know. You ain't never put the motherfucking work into do dreaming. It's obvious, not body, everything and everybody. It shows my revenue growth is out of control. I'm ready to blow, I'm ready for war, I'm ready for smoke. You ready to go? I really think I'm playing chess. I see a king, I'm at his neck. I'm 3 steps ahead at every move, now that's a check. Yes, they wanna know my secret, it's because I never slept. All my nightmares of me at 40, life's a wreck.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bet Boom Playlist Urbanistic. He have been on a little bit of an interesting upset streak, or at least that's the goal, to be able to beat B&E, to get their way through to the playoffs, of course. And they're going to have one hell of a hustle to be able to break their way through. Joining myself, Trevor Victorous, of course, is Mint Crystal, as we have game number 3 underway for you shortly.
That is correct. And game number 3 will be Vertigo And you can see Bad Boomer saying that B&E should have the upper hand on paper with 1.65 to 2.2. But of course, I think it should be maybe at least an entertaining match. I mean, B&E, I can understand that they have faced definitely high-tier players and teams on Vertigo and able to get a decent result on that. Here we go. The map win is 44 against 43. The thing is that HEET is pretty good on the board pistol with 61%, while both CT and T rounds are around 50%. But yeah, the thing is like B&E recently played against Cloud9 2 days ago, where I played 16-12, and a day before that won against Eternal Fire. So definitely looking good, while HEET played against Ago 11-16. So looking forward to see what we're gonna get on Vertigo.
Yeah, and it looks like HEET have a stronger win rate, at least with the pistols specifically, which is one of the few things that B&E were able to find success with on Inferno. So that could be a bit of a red flag to keep in mind during this, as we've been in this very bit of a streaky meta, especially with that T side. So if HEET are able to reliably find that T side pistol, they might be able to find a good streak of rounds early before B&E finds a response and get that momentum to get the lead and the win on this. Now, of course, everything else just favors the B&E between the map being Vertigo, the fact that they've played it so much. It's normally one of their more go-to sort of maps, not compared to Ancient and Mirage, of course, but it's certainly up there on the higher echelon. Everything points towards, hey, we should be able to close this. But again, HEET have been able to surprise us quite a bit today.
That they have, especially in Ancient, where they have played very good. 16-14 was the scoreline, and of course they have only a 25% win rate on that, so definitely surprising there. I mean, you said it's a pistol round, maybe can be an indication of what's to come. Of course, you can string a couple rounds together with a pistol round. I mean, technically, if you win every single pistol round, you should be able to get at least around 6 rounds, depending on, of course, how the opposition is playing that. And of course, we are on map 3, meaning we have a knife round, meaning that, of course, you can start on the CT or on the T side. And of course, depending, I mean, there's definitely can say on start on the T side, have a good T start, and then go on the better side, or you go onto the CT side and go then on the T side. But I think that mostly teams want to go to start on the CT side, as is on paper the one that is easier to play normally. But of course, who knows? We have teams that want to sometimes start on the T side, even though it is very, very unlikely, but possible.
Yeah, very rare, as teams just want to be able to set up on that defense first and get used to what their opponent is doing. But with how this momentum and everything's been going, I feel like I would want B&E, if they're able to choose, to go for that T side, to try to be active, to get those players back in the server, as they were super quiet on map number 2. It was silent. They really didn't have much impact. They weren't really looking for these fights to have a meaningful playbook into that map of Inferno. And with a match like Vertigo, you need to be able to be willing to take these brawls. Ramp is always the bread and butter that every single team's fighting for, and you need to be able to comfortably take those fights into it.
But here we go, let's see who's gonna make it into the playoffs, HEET or Bad News Eagles, who will be going 3-1. Of course, starting on with that knife round, it seems like we're gonna have HEET gonna win this one. Yeah, they're gonna be able to make this one happen. And with that, of course, they're allowed to start on whichever side they want, but I expect them to stay on the city side. I mean, you never know, but yeah. Yep, they're gonna stay on the city side.
Certainly taking a little second to debate it real quick, but they're like, yeah, this is certainly the right move for us, at least.
Probably. I mean, we don't know. Maybe it is not. Maybe it is. It's all up to the base. Well, Lucky doing some parkour there, jumping around, and we're waiting for all the players to be ready. You know, exclamation mark ready, wonderfully, in that in-game chat. Lucky looking at their wonderful knives, even though, yeah, some of them better, some of them the worst. I think it's also like pretty objective what you want to have. But here we go, pistol round, and I hope we're gonna see more dualies again. I mean, in the last pistol round we had 3 of them, and look at that, X will instantly gonna buy one. And on the other side, we see Selinon. So we have Exercise and Maka on that dualies, and no utility at all. On the other side, we see Center course, you know, with that very important decoy grenade, of course, GXX as well with some utility, and he said it will be a very interesting part to see the fight for ramp, and it seems it will be exactly that on map number 1 or round number 1.
There goes the heart.
Certainly, but it's the duel setting up very slow, going for that contact, waiting for that flashbang to initially open things up, and B&E with that T side able to double up with those Glocks to find those key openings that they need, and even steal both the pairs of dualies. And beautiful shot from Regan with the P250. Looks like he wants to get a little bit more action in there, and the dualies will in fact get involved too. All of them, as Exercise finds one of his own, but he's got a lot more to find with that, and there's no defuse kits on the CT side, so instead it's X-Real left with just 1 HP. He's able to find a double in spite of that, but of course there's just too much manpower on B&E left at this point, and they are able to successfully convert the first round.
Yeah, Regan's so good with that P250, finding 3 kills, just with nice clicks there on the head, and in the end the last player was just too low of HP, and with that we have B&E on 1. Definitely the start they were looking for, and looking to maybe make this second, as of course HEET has not opted to invest into this one. They're going, of course, for that full rifle round next round, so let's see how much kills the MPs will get, because with an MP you get a huge kill reward bonus. I think it's $600, so that's definitely something you want. And let's see if they can, or maybe he just can, maybe a little upset there, you know, win with that set of pistols, or even maybe do a decent amount of damage to Bad News Eagle's economy. Let's see what we're gonna get. Senators going in, an easy bomb plan, as nobody is really there to deny that Advi has. Wonderfully seen that he said, yeah, sure, we have pistols, we have nothing to lose, let's go for B full stack and hope for the best. And sadly it was not the way B&E wanted to play. They went to the A side, and now we're gonna have pistols, hoping to get something.
Yeah, setting on through. They want to find some kind of opportunity with these USPs. Maybe GXX will give them one, but with how passive he's playing this, he's going to wait till the last second, and instead he's going to catch the opportunity on all these pistols, catching their backs, but he's unable to connect. He only finds one with the MAC-10, and now taken down. Be up to Juan to follow it up, and the bomb taking him down from below. That elevation disadvantage, of course, going on in, and that is a rough spray from GXX, and it will cost him quite a bit.
But still, losing an MP is not so hard. I mean, of course, it will sting a little bit, but of course, he can, you know, replace that with a rifle. And here we go. HEET now able to buy as well. So let's see what we're gonna get here on this third round. Center going aggressive here with the MP, hoping to maybe catch somebody out. He's going to press the W kill, but oh, it actually will work. Oh, I did not expect that. Maybe it's the opening that B&E needed.
They certainly make it look that way, as Yoko's set up to try to hard anchor, and somehow Maka is still alive, but of course the flank from Juan will be able to catch both those players, take them down, and leave Lucky and the 1v2. This is sort of one of the first key rounds you want to go for, so retake is ideal in this sort of situation. But have to find just the right timing. That angle is so dangerous to take, and just with the presence alone, it's enough to scare him back that he will just try to hold on to that A1 instead. And a bit of a bold move, as both of these last two remaining players are looking to try to hunt him down. And that means the first should be caught out. And now GXX has to find a little bit of a timing on Lucky, as he is left low, jumps across the door and finds the shot. And no weapon save for HEET.
Yeah, it was a very expensive round. In the end, able to close this one out, B&E with 3-0 lead. HEET, of course, well, the money's not good. You can see a little bit upgraded stuff. Maka is going for that Hero AWP. Interesting, as everybody else just playing with pistols, so he's very confident he can make something happen. So let's see what we are going to get.
Could describe it perhaps as a little bit of a mystery, but it certainly favors B&E to follow it up, especially if Synopsy is able to find success with this MAC-10. His teammates having a little bit of a failure with them in the previous, but this time around, instead, Synopsy is able to find the first with it, and of course, Juan Flatro able to find a little bit of damage, taking Maka down, and they've done all this without taking an engagement with the AWP, able to pick off all these pistols, so it's just this off left towards mid to try to push through, and of course the second he peeks, he's able to take a shot at Juan Flatro, but now everyone on this T side is ready to start hunting him down. He's getting sprayed from every angle. That AWP is failed to be saved and is in fact stolen away by Synopsy. So everything going in the favor of B&E early, especially in the economic sense, as Maka has absolutely nothing more than a FAMAS to work with in this buy round.
I mean, yeah, getting the AWP in the last round was definitely a controversial move, but that did not work out as well as they hoped, and so he's just, you know, relegated to FAMAS. Definitely still a decent weapon, but let's see what they can use for that. Lucky opting to maybe take a little peek in the middle, but Regan, you know, going back, so nothing they can spot off. And yeah, B&E definitely with a 4-0 start, definitely pretty good here. Maybe even a 5th one, depending on how he is going to play. And yeah, he definitely looking to make this one, at least the first one on the board, because again, the money's not good. I mean, the loss bonus is getting better, but still not what you want if you are, of course, rooting for the HEET team.
Now, Lucky throwing good old Molly down, trying to deny the initial ramp push. It'll be enough to force some AK shots to be rung out to give the information of where these players are. Now, that early damage going in, tagging players down, but it's not enough to find the frag, as Exercise has been able to lurk through and make it a 2-man advantage for HEET. This is a beautiful setup to have, but of course, mid's been lost. But the sound cue means Yoko should be able to catch an opportunity. The spray misses, so Yoko's able to get away with everything, and it's a bit of a mistake from everyone on the side of B&E. And now GXX has to walk away, maybe tempted to even throw that AWP away, perhaps. Well, with 20 seconds left, he should have enough time to be able to save it. I don't think HEET are going to be willing to go aggressive in the same sort of way. And he'll be able to hold on to it for the next round.
I mean, yeah, having that would definitely help. I mean, they have enough money, but of course you don't really want to give that AWP to your enemy, because that would definitely help the city side. There we go, HEET able to take the first round on the board. Let's take a look at that replay Exercise. Of course, the smoke fading the perfect way. Jocko also able to play around the smoke. Everybody just hitting their shots from the HEET side, and we see B&E taking their first timeout.
It's a pretty fair timeout to make, because you have a decent bit of money to work with, but this is the first time HEET's been able to find success, and if you can get a win on this one, sure, they might be able to buy in the next, but they will have lower utility, they won't have much to be able to contend with, and it will be putting that pressure once again against them to be able to work with. Just the ideal situation you want to have. And we can see the ideal bet boom odds. If you click on the banner below the stream, you can see things are favoring Bad News Eagles a bit. You can get a $15 free bet as a new customer when you sign up with that link down below, of course. These Bad News Eagles look to be keeping the streak and the odds in their favor.
That is definitely something they will try to do, because they have the money to buy, and so they will try. And look at that, opening X-Real, losing that duel. Same time, look at that, nobody really doing anything from HEET. Trade again, Lucky able to at least make it a little bit closer. Maka looking to get some headshot there. You know, a little bit dangerous playing there. But of course, if you are down a man, you definitely have to take some risks if you want to make it even. GXX holding that, just missing that timing there to maybe get a kill. But on the other side, Bad News Eagles looking to make it towards the side. GXX missing the first shot. And so the player is going to get away. Synopsy, he's going to miss the first one, but he's not going to miss the follow-up engagement. And with that, we're going to have 2 players left. Spotting the first one out at least. Molotov forcing him out, but lucky he's really gonna try to look for another lineup. 52 seconds, the Molotov of course is gonna delay that just a little bit, but so many smokes. I mean, he can poke over now, but the next Molotov is gonna go, and so he cannot do anything. The bomb will go down without contest. John Fletcher is very low, but able to get out just barely. And with that, we have, well, the CT is probably not going to opt to go and try this one. I mean, of course, they could, as 2 players are pretty low. Of course, saving these weapons would be essential in the next round.
Yeah, it's going to be essential to have a chance, but the fact that this exact situation has happened, this is the B&E success that they needed because they can keep up this momentum on this T side. There's no way for HEET to easily respond. They will be able to get a buy in the next, and with the 2 weapons saved, should mean decent utility as well. But it's not going to be about that. It's going to be about the rounds, and B&E are taking all of them at the moment.
I mean, definitely a 5 was 5 on the T side so early on is definitely a very good sign, maybe for Bad News Eagles. Of course, HEET, they can now punch back. They have, of course, the weapons in their arsenal. In addition to that, of course, a decent amount of utility. So let's see if they can, stop at least. So far, pretty good T side from HEET. Well, Maka is trying to start that, and he will. Finding a nice AWP shot there on that, on Rigon. So early opening there, but look at that, lucky. You can see the player lining up, finding a double there. But he will be not able to get away.
Trying to get with it all. Maka is willing to bathe in the flames a little bit, and that off-shot ringing will give the information that they are leaning towards this A site. Of course, B&E are still a little bit stuck towards, might be the best way to describe it. We do have the utility on these 2 players to give themselves the site. Most importantly, there is this timing of the flank, of course. Good old exercise to try to find the impact to take it all away. And you can see this is exactly what Scenari's waiting for. Hoping that someone is trying to get the flank from behind, but all he's trying to do is deny the rotation. Make sure that they can't get to this B bomb site, force them to dedicate towards A, and then when the opening's given, go for the assault. With that smoke going towards the side room, we'll be able to get that bomb down. There's no HE, and Exercise with the push should be able to catch GXX shortly. He doesn't finish the kill, but is able to find the follow-up most importantly. Now it's up to Scenari to find the timing to eliminate Exercise before his team gets the rotation in. Good flick. Now he's left in the 1v2. A chance, an opportunity, a good flashbang, but the smoke's giving him coverage. He's just sticking the defuse, and X-Real's able to take him down before the bomb defuse could be denied. And HEET with a very important second round to keep their hopes alive in this deciding map.
That is true, lucky with the wonderful lineup there, finding kills. Exercise, well, the steal being there, a little bit of a help there for the AWP, but in the end it was not to be. And with that, HEET taking the second round there. But still, Bad News Eagles have the ability to invest into this one, so still a fighting chance for make this 6. But oh, look at that, GXX a little bit better spawn there, a little bit earlier there. And with that, we have man advantage early on. GXX finding that kill, and lucky he's looking to find, something, just able to look through this little pixel gap there in scaffolding. So let's see what he can find. While John is looking that maybe the CT is going to aggress, and it seems like it will be an aggression. And oh, look at the lineup, perfect headshot there. Will he expect a second? Not really so far. So maybe he can get caught off. Or maybe X-Real can come from behind without being noticed. But he definitely made a step there, but I don't think anybody could hear that.
Now, X-Real able to get the flank once again. They do find the opportunity to at least get the picks and have 3 rifles in their control. But of course, that comes with a cost. They fully lost B. This bomb's going down, and it's another very unfavorable retake situation. And sure, you can save these 3 rifles to have a chance in the next, but at the same time, B&E are setting up for a 6-2 scoreline, and this is supposed to be the deciding map.
Yeah.
And you want to look strong on this defense to have a chance, but now B&E are starting to run away with this.
I mean, it seems like they are definitely doing that. We can see how to save, of course. It's a safer version, but of course, you said it, you don't really want to let the T side get on 6 rounds so early. And see Lucky finding one exit track, but to be honest, B&E don't really care, as they, of course, going to get money from the bomb plant and, of course, around victories, so they can reinvest into this one. And here we are. Take a look at the replay. Sean is just wonderfully lining up the kill there. Actually able to slip through, able to get one, but that was just the last player was lurking a little bit behind. With that, it is 6 on the board.
With having those 6 on the board, they're looking to keep the streak going. Now, of course, they do have a good old Maka AWP to try to find some sort of response, but that classic side smoke early from T-Spawn goes on in, and they're forced to just throw some HEs and mollies, and of course they're not ready for the pace. Just another level from Synopsy. Sure, he gets taken down. Sure, Yoko finds a double, but he needs to find more. Finds 3, and 1 Flatros left a little bit unexpected of him, but it's still not enough. The early double from Synopsy has given too much map control away. That Maka's left in a 1v2, and he has to go for this round. There's no opportunity to avoid it. As now, oh, GXX could give him the opportunity of a lifetime, but he misses the shot. Now he has to run. The information's been given away. He fails to capitalize, and now he's forced to save as Bad News Eagles get 7.
Indeed, it was a huge brawl on the side, but in the end, of course, you know, retaking with an AWP is probably not the best idea, as of course it is a pretty slow weapon if, of course, you have to, you know, clear so many angles. And with that, Bad News Eagles on 7, and Heat again, just able to save their 1 weapon. Man, at least the loss bonus is pretty huge, so they can reinvest. And look at that, the smoke just in. The perfect position for Jocko Gun, able to find 1 a second then, but he did not expect to find so many more. 3 in the end, but it was not enough. And here we are, 2-7, B&E looking for a monster T side to maybe get them into the playoffs.
Maybe it's certainly a idea they can go for in this sort of situation. Not entirely sure how I feel about it, as Maka finally gets some success. And of course, X-Real with the follow-up towards mid. That's 2 players picked off early, and Yoko is once again consistent with this A1 to be able to find the impact. So now it's left in a 2v5. Synopsy has been smoked offside, so can't even really attempt to go for much, as Maka finds his second, going more aggressively, and Yoko will find his second as well. Just going for the direct aim duels. Heat able to finally get a little bit of success, though there's so much money behind B&E that this shouldn't be much of an issue.
I mean, yeah, they have won a couple in a row, meaning the bank was definitely building that they are going to take another timeout, and of course we invest into this money. Synopsy doesn't have so much money, but GXX definitely and John Foxtrot can drop him. That shouldn't be a problem. And yeah, the timeout definitely interesting, as of course so far it has been working out, but some of the rounds were kind of close. So of course maybe take the timeout. I mean, better than just not take it. Of course, 7 rounds, even if they're going to lose every single one, and it will be 8-7 halftime. B&E looking for definitely a good one. There we go, the reinvest is there. No AWP though for B&E, as that was a little bit too expensive though. I mean, technically they could have gone for that, but it seems they are opting to not go for that. Let's take a look at who has the most entry kills. It's John Flutro with Maka, Synopsy, and GXX tied, but John at least got that first, so he is on the top of the scorer line, at least on that stats. And let's see if he maybe can get this onto 3. But it seems nobody of the cities wants to go aggressive. I mean, they did it once, it did not work out so well. Here we are. 3-7. B&E definitely looking good, but HEET definitely can claw back. We have seen them, they can do it. And an 8-7 definitely would be still very good.
Patiently waiting towards mid. Now, of course, Juan Flatro is trying to catch the engagement, as this mid control can be so important as teams start learning to exploit it more often. 2 of these T's creeping up, likely setting up for the boost any second to take the duel against X-Real. Looks like they're waiting for a timing before going for this. Expecting possibly even a swing.
Maybe.
Very patient. But instead, of course, it's X-Real just going for these constant shoulder peeks. That will be difficult to punish on the boost, perhaps why they're handling things this way. And willing to just play a bit of a waiting game. Though, of course, now a bit of space has been found. Regan pushing towards the B site, and that's going to activate them into action. They're able to find the first, trying to cut off these rotations. The flashbang, so Juan Flatro goes down. He's able to find one, and Regan breaking through the site, trades 1 for 1 each. But of course, the lurks through the rest of the site, breaks through, and they obtain a fully in their control with a perfect lurk. And with 20 seconds left, that bomb's going down. But Exercise has a potential here if he catches Synopsy down with a clean shot, which he misses every single shot onto Scenari. And Synopsy is able to swing and help support. And now it's 8 for B&E, and they should be able to keep this momentum going, as it should be very little money for the side of HEET.
I mean, yeah, that is still, I mean, a couple of the players are pretty low. I mean, they can definitely think about a force buy in order to maybe get them over another round, and it seems like if we have it, there we go, just buying it. It will not be a very good buy, as you can see. There's still a lot of utility missing, which can maybe be the downfall of this round. Let's see, Lucky going to take a little peek there, but not going to opt further, as you can see there. A lot of T's, waiting for him. So definitely a smart move to go for that. I mean, of course, with the M4, the silence one, you can spam a little bit, through smokes. It's not, you cannot trace the tracers. Huh. That joke. But here we go. B&E opting to look for maybe some early kills, but not able to find it. So going back, so it seems they're going to regroup, maybe go towards B. Of course, on Vertigo, you can rotate very quickly.
Certainly. And rotations are the name of the game, because it gives a lot of sound cues, information to play around that teams can react to. It's the one thing they do have to be very cautious about. So now, going for those duels, of course, Regan, so reliable to get the openings, the entries, and Juan will be able to do the same. They're just taking them out of the entire map, aim dueling them, and sure, HEET were able to find a little bit of success to get a few more rounds brought in, but the firepower on B&E is something else entirely, as Mach is caught out, unable to save that AWP, as Regan finds 3, B&E with 9, and they're looking to make this a quick third map.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's pretty much very similar. We saw how they played against Cloud9, which of course was sadly, of course, for them a loss, 16-12. But we saw that they definitely have the ability to play this one, and had also a very strong T side as well. But C9 was just a little bit better, though. Of course, C9 definitely a different league than, of course, HEET. And it seems that HEET is just unable to contain B&E for at least now. But of course, that maybe could still change. Maybe are still 3 rounds, even though this one will be very hard, as the money is not really huge. I mean, of course, force buy would maybe give them some chance to fight, but of course, if they opt to force buy into this one, it will of course be not the best buy against the one perfect buy from B&E, and of course it would lose them probably the next round. So it seems like they are not going to buy into this one, so just a set of deagles, maybe for a couple players. I mean, Jocko currently has one, maybe Exercise going for one as well. But of course, it is not looking good for the round. And yeah, T-side is, on paper, not the one that should be winning more rounds. So that could maybe be a problem in the future, as HEET will go on to the T-side. But on the other side, we have seen that both teams can have a huge T-side. So still, Heat need a couple more rounds, so 6 is maybe something I'm looking for. I mean, which is probably unlikely, but of course, maybe like a 5-10 is still doable. I mean, it can help, of course, to win the pistol round, but let's see how this wonderful round will go first.
Now, once again, they're going for this mid control and just absolutely dominating it. Even smalleying CT. There's no way for anyone on Heat to even go for a peek. They're just following up with a smoke to deny with a little bit of a cheeky gap. Might be able to catch Lucky off guard. He is shoulder peeking it, but isn't prepared for the rain of bullets from Regan as he pushes on through. They're ready to take this A site through from mid. Bit of a wild play. If the awareness to read the sense that there might be a player towards CT, but he's able to find the timing, and Maka gets a double off of it anyways, in spite of it, looking for a third, finds it, and now Scenarii, it all left to do. This bomb is left down, and Maka has to do his best to find the deed shot, but the opportunity does not arise. Scenarii, with too many bullets, able to spray him down.
Yeah, a very, very close one. To be honest, nothing we definitely expected. Of course, we can see the pistol sometimes just can rule supreme with Deagles and had Maka, finding that nice double there. But in the end, of course, the AK with the firepower just ruling supreme there, finding double digits here for that B&E side. But now Heat has money, meaning they have still a shot of making it a 5-10 halftime. But of course, that's the best case scenario for them. It can go even worse. X-Real trying to get for something, trying to get an early advantage in middle, but losing his life, giving B&E a wonderful thing. But Jocko, he's thinking to go to peak. He's gonna find the first one. That was the bomb. Question is, will he get away? It seems he will, but just that. No! Jocko not able to get the kill on center, who is getting the kill, and so we have a one-man advantage here for B&E. Of course, it's not looking good for Heat. Lucky trying to, get a lucky kill there. The nade follow up, but the crate was in the way. And with that, we have a little bit, a very heated start here on round number 14. It seems B&E able to win one exercise. He can go huge. He's spotting the wonderful gun there, finding the first, finding the second, and that was also, I think, the bomb. Definitely a clutch play there from exercise.
With that clutch play, it means they have a chance in this, but Scenarii with the first, and a rare missed shot from Maka. He's trying to run. Scenarii's trying to finish him off with the Glock, but it means he will be caught exposed, and instead it's GXX in the 1v2, misses the quick op shot, so Lucky is able to steal away an AK, and he have a chance to at least find 5 on this defense and have a hope of finding success.
Yeah, 5 would be so crucial, of course. Giving B&E 11 would definitely not help them. But let's see. I mean, B&E, of course, they have money to buy into this one. Heat, let's see what they can do. A 5th one would be so important for them if they want to make it, right now in the playoffs in this map and not, being a risk of elimination. Or maybe going to playoffs next round. But look at that Regan. He just doesn't care. He's going through that smoke as it doesn't exist. And look at that. He's pressing forward, finding another one. He's just not stopping. He's just running and gunning, finding not that kill because his teammates got him first, but he is going further and further. Molotov, scaring away the AWP. He heard of that was extinguished, but look at that Regan. He took the side on his own. Definitely finding these kills, finding another one. John Fatro going, Nisnupsi was going down. Maka with the no-scope, finding another one, but still there's so much more to find. 11 on the board for Bad News Eagles with a monster T-side half, giving them a perfect opportunity to make this, their victory and, of course, securing their spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, this is looking so beautiful from them. There's just no opportunities. Heat are doing everything they can to find success, but B&E have had enough, and their discomfort on Inferno has certainly been exposed, but it might have been the difference maker, the fact that Heat weren't able to steal away the opponent's map pick of Ancient, and now everything could cost them, as we have a 1.06 in the favor of B&E, and who can blame them as they're looking to improve that pistol win rate on Vertigo. Already able to do a little bit earlier on with the first round that this half started with, but if they can do so with the CT side, the chances from Heat become from slim to unimaginable to be able to recover this.
Yeah, a pistol round would definitely be the way to go. And of course, if you want to have maybe a head start, then of course you don't have to win a pistol round. You of course can claim your $15 free bet from Bad Boom as of course a new customer. That's a wonderful down below the stream. A little panel you can click which will redirect you to Bad Boom where you can claim your $15 free bet. And let's see if maybe Heat can get an advanced start here on their comeback, or if B&E looking to make this one close this out. Let's see what we're gonna get. Oh, look at that. The boost is there. That could be probably good to at least one, because I've never seen that boost actually not getting a single kill, but let's see what we're gonna get.
That's going to be the next big question to put in mind. How are they going to handle this next problem being put in of this pistol, of course, and it's Regan to jump around and land 3 headshots with the USP. He's looking for more, finally gets denied, but Sanir is here to follow up with the USP and start pecking down Maka. He gets tagged with a headshot through the tarp, and Saneri will get vengeance with a double to follow up Regan to get his team 12, and now it's the nightmare situation from Heat. You found no success, not even a bomb plant to be able to force with. You have absolutely nothing to give you any hope on this T side of success, yet you still must keep fighting on.
I mean, of course, you have to try it. We have here the timeout to maybe discuss how they want to play this one. Do they still want to force buy? Probably it is something they're discussing. But of course, if they don't go for that, then of course B&E will go to 13, and then we'll have finally some guns. Of course, if they force buy, then we're gonna have 2 pretty bad force buys probably, and then we're gonna have maybe B&E on 14, or maybe they can win this one. They are going to go for something like a hero rifle. I think that is like the middle ground for that. So of course, losing a single round can be so devastating for Heat. So it has to be X-Real, trying to do everything for the Heat side.
And just having to be asked to do so much is almost a little bit of a nightmare in some sense.
Maybe.
As how do you find that success is the question.
X-Real going in, pressing W, finding 3 kills, and securing the side. There we go. That's a possibility, but it will be hard.
He's done it before.
Yeah.
I can't discredit that much, at least. Worth keeping that in mind. But now some early damage already obtained. The fact they've gotten so much early mid-info stopping them from having any presence towards that position. You already have to wonder how they are going to deal with this issue. So there really isn't any ideal ways to answer such a problem.
There's the first one. So maybe the dream is still alive.
Yeah, but even the FAMAS can handle most of these weapons pretty comfortably. So it's not the ideal situation you want to work with, but it's certainly far from helpless. As they stack up in T-spawn and plan to go towards mid, being inspired by B&E's playbook and trying to copy their success towards mid.
That is at least the plan for now. I mean, there's 30 seconds left on the clock, meaning they still have to go a long way, take a bomb site, so it will be a very close timing, meaning they have to hurry up if they want to make this one their own. 20 seconds currently at ramp, so here we go. Now they're going at Regan. He can definitely hear that, and he will be one of the defenders on the side. So let's see, can he go on down the players? First one going down. Synopsy with another one, and it seems just not enough. Marco are the last surviving players, and the thing is, yeah, no time. And with that, we're going to have Bad News Eagles on 13.
Perfect situation to be in. And I mean, you can see some of these beautiful highlights. The hard anchoring working every single time. These guys cannot slip up once. not a single opportunity given away. As much as they are hungering for that mistake to be made by B&E, they want to dominate on this way out on Vertigo. Show their comfort on it, and Heat have been clearly caught out. So this is quite possibly their last full buy to have a chance. That they have to have a massive streak on. Both Regan at this aggressive position. The lurk smoke is denied as Regan finds a double, and he's ready to push for more. He only has 6 bullets left in the mag, and he doesn't care. He's still pushing up. He's not reloading. He's ready to hold this and wait for more players to run towards his position.
That is true. I mean, already players down. Not the way you want to go if you're rooting for Heat. There we go, another player down. Synopsy going ham. I mean, Exercise, he's good for 2, but still, there's so many players to find. So let's see, can he make the comeback happen? Is he gonna make this one? Seems he is so far, you know, just rotating around. I mean, at least he has a bomb on his back, so he doesn't have to recover that. So let's see, 25 HP, of course, also not in his favor. 30 seconds. And the thing is, can he make this one? So far, clearing every corner, but nobody there. But of course, that's something only we, as an observer, know. On the side, it's actually pretty clear, so maybe he's gonna get at least a free bomb plant.
That'd be something to work with. Be able to get a little bit of money, but there's 10 seconds left. He's running out of time. He has to run in, but now he's going to be left completely exposed in the open. It's going to be easy to take him down, get that AK upgrade. That's 14 for B&E, and I think this series is done.
It's definitely not looking good. I mean, he was maybe a little too eager to find an early frag there to maybe have a shot at winning this one. So no bomb plant, no money, and another timeout by Heat. And look at the money. It is not looking good, and it seems they're not going to force into this one. So maybe giving Bad News Eagles 15 on the board.
Yeah, I mean, you can see they're going for the half investment. They have to find a massive streak regardless, so you're hoping you can just steal this one away so you have a little bit more space to work with. As finding the same level of success as they have on the T side isn't far-fetched. It's not impossible. There's just no reason to believe that they could pull it off. That's the main issue to keep in mind. So there's little reason to have faith in Heat to recover this.
It's always a possibility. I mean, it's only over when it's over, so that's the thing. But let's see if they can make this one, at least in this one. I mean, they have, of course, bought down a little bit, so they can buy in the next round perfectly. But here we go. X-Real hoping that somebody will push him to find and give himself maybe a free weapon, but it seems B&E are not playing so aggressive.
Perhaps not. Now, both utility, they're going to reclaim the B main control, and there's little to do it. And wait a minute, Regan's this far up ramp? Oh no, this is basically a done deal. Maybe he gets caught out, but this level of map control and information, there's only a minute left, so the team can freely rotate even if he gets picked off here. You can see he's just holding this off angle, denying any information, waiting for the opportunity. And you can see Heat can feel the pressure that they have no information to work with. Regan only able to find one. The off angle leaves him a little bit too exposed to the Tech-9s rushing him down. And now Heat running to this A bomb site do have an opportunity to work with as there's no one towards side. It's just late rotations, and these Tech-9s are making it work. They're finding a hope and a second chance for Heat to keep things alive. GXX with the AWP, but things have been a little bit too slow. Juan Flatro's so quick on this flank that he should have an easy multi-man spray down. They all line up. It's a free 3K, and the hope is taken right back away from him as he sticks this defuse. Exercise isn't anywhere near to stop this defuse from coming in. GXX will even take him down, and it's a disastrous 15 taken away from the
Yeah, I mean, it was looking so good. You know, the Tech 9's running and gunning, finding the kills, but then from behind, John just taking him all down. They line up for him. Nobody looking in this direction, and then, of course, the defuse. 15 on the board. Bad News Eagles, a single round away from their playoff spots, and of course, sending Heat down to 2-2-2. Of course, it's still not over for them. They still have one more shot to go in the playoffs, but definitely not something you want to have. And GXX opening up here onto the first player.
Oh man, 4 players left to keep Heat alive, to even have a chance of dreaming of recovering this. And there's counter utility, there's mollies being thrown, they're being forced into the open. Regan's ready to take this pick, to take them both down, to leave nothing left other than these little lurks walking all over the place. I mean, one will give a bit of a sound cue away, but he ends up thinking that was Scenarii in the duel, so Juan is able to get the trade for free, and now Mr. Flatru has just Lucky left to deal with in essentially a 1v1, but the tag, the rotation from GXX will help him finish that last remaining player, as B&E only need 20 rounds to take it away, 16-4 on the deciding map against Heat.
Yeah, that is definitely a huge score from B&E, just complete dismantling Heat here. And with that, it's definitely something. Let's take a look at some highlights. Regan, of course, in that pistol round, being so good with that P250, finding a 3K there. Lucky with the nice lineup there, finding, of course, more kills. And Jocko, I mean, to be honest, you know, the T side, it would be hard for Heat, but not a single round that is definitely gonna sting. And with that, you know, being able to secure their playoff spot, definitely looking good for them.
I think they're going to be pretty happy with the results of that, at least for now. As with that control, they can just keep everything going. And you can see Scenarii just causing so much damage. Exercise able to anchor the B bomb site once or twice, but it's just not nearly enough at all as these utility plays. Even the flashbang isn't enough. Regan's always ready to take the fight, getting away with the full reload and even the 360 on top of it.
Yeah,
just to add extra insult.
Not even using the scope of the pistol, but here we go. I think that was like one of the highlights here. Just him lining up, winning around all by himself. Nothing that Heat could do there in this case, and with that, of course, it's yeah, a 2-1 victory for Bad News Eagles. Definitely deserved, at least on the last one. On the other side, it could have been so different, of course, if Heat was able to just close out the first one. It was 16-14. And here we are, the scores. Look at that. 23 kills for Regan. On the other side, Exercise with 13. Definitely, well, at least a little highlight there for Heat, but in general, probably a map they want to forget.
Yeah, at this point, with it being 16-4, you can see when things get this